Your Border Collie is taking notes, not on what you say, on what you accidentally allow. The quick game becomes a daily requirement. That harmless stare becomes a demand. The cute little habits turn into rules you didn't agree to. And because they're smart, they don't just learn fast, they train you back just as fast. So before you bring one home, you really want to watch this video first. Here are 9 mistakes Border Collie owners make without realizing. Number 1. Assuming the herding instincts only count outside. The first time your Border Collie body blocks you in the hallway, you realize you didn't adopt a dog. You brought home a traffic cop. A lot of new owners expect the herding brain to stay in farm mode, then get blindsided when it shows up in normal life. Heels getting escorted, kids getting shadowed, guests getting stared down, and other pets getting quietly controlled. It can look like circling, cutting people off, crouching and staring, or that quick ankle nudge that starts as cute and turns into habit. In fact, one owner warned us saying, "He doesn't chase the kids, he reroutes them. If they run, he's behind them like a tiny furry hall monitor. Don't let this become a habit or you'll regret it." What actually helps is giving that instinct a legal outlet and clear rules indoors. Teach a strong place, reward calm watching, and redirect motion fixation into structured games like tug with rules, scent fines, and short impulse control reps. Otherwise, they'll start hurting you, and they won't ask permission first. Number 2. Turning fetch into their whole personality. At some point, the tennis ball stops being a toy and becomes a religion. A lot of Border Collie owners accidentally create this by using fetch or frisbee as the main tire them out button. The problem is, these dogs don't just enjoy repetition, they lock onto it. Soon, you've got a dog who paces, stares at the toy bin, drops a ball on your feet during Zoom calls, and treats your every movement like you're about to clock in for their shift. One owner described the spiral perfectly. "Fetch used to be fun. Now it's my Border Collie's full-time obsession, and I'm just his assistant. If I sit down, he slaps the ball against my ankle and reminds me it's time to play." The move here is to make fetch limited and structured. Short sessions, built-in pauses, and a clear, all-done cue that ends the game every time. Mix in sniff walks, tug, trick training, or scatter feeding so their brain learns other ways to feel satisfied. Fetch should be a tool, not the dog's entire lifestyle. Number 3. You can accidentally train a dog who's too fit to quit. It starts innocently. Your Border Collie paces, so you grab the leash. They whine, so you throw the ball. They look wired, so you add another lap. And without realizing it, you've trained a very smart dog that restless behavior is how they summon cardio. One Border Collie owner described the spiral like this. "I thought I was burning off energy. Nope, I was rewarding the pacing. Now he laps around the kitchen, stares at me, and I can practically hear him saying, 'Cool, you saw it. Initiate walk protocol.'" Here's the shift. Stop treating every twitch like an exercise emergency. There are better ways to handle restlessness without accidentally training a fitter, pushier dog. Try short activity bursts, followed by a predictable wind-down, a sniff walk, chew lick time, food puzzles, or calm settle reps. Your Border Collie can help a lot, but if you only teach go, you'll live with a dog who never learns done. Number 4. Waiting for them to get used to loud noises. Thunder doesn't scare some Border Collies. It offends them, like the sky just violated workplace policy. A common owner mistake is assuming they'll naturally habituate to fireworks, storms, vacuum cleaners, dropped pans, or that one smoke alarm beep. But a lot of Border Collies are sound sensitive and hyper-aware by default. So repeated surprise noises can turn into pacing, trembling, barking, hiding, or full-on "I will not be in this house anymore" panic. One owner told us, "Mine acts brave until a car backfires. Then he's glued to my leg, staring at me with those 'help me please' eyes." Don't wait for a bad night to build a plan. Teach a calm routine early, a cue like bed or crate, a high-value chew that only appears during noise events, curtains closed, white noise on, and treats dropped for calm moments. Practice with low-volume recordings when they're relaxed. Do that now, and storms become background noise instead of a monthly emergency. Number 5. Training too harsh or too fast can make them quietly quit on you. If your Border Collie suddenly turns into a polite little ghost who forgets everything the moment you pull out the leash, don't assume they're being stubborn. A lot of Border Collies are ridiculously sensitive to pressure, and when training gets too sharp, too repetitive, or too much too soon, they don't argue. They shut down. You'll see it as freezing, avoiding eye contact, moving away, refusing cues, or doing a weird version of the behavior near you but not with you, like they're trying to complete the assignment without getting graded. In fact, one owner described this saying, "Mine isn't dramatic. He just goes blank. If I push too hard, he'll sit there looking at the wall like he's waiting for the bell to ring." Slow the pace, split skills into smaller steps, and in sessions while they're still winning. You're not breaking their will, you're building their confidence. Number 6. You accidentally create a routine addict. Change one tiny detail and your Border Collie reacts like you moved the goalposts in the middle of the World Cup. Do the same walk at 7 p.m., feed in the same order, repeat the same little rituals, and they'll start treating the schedule like a contract. It feels like good ownership. To a Border Collie brain, patterns are predictions, and predictions are comforting. So when life interrupts with a late breakfast, different routes, or guests, they can pace, hover, whine, or act weirdly stuck because the script got rewritten. One owner put it bluntly, "I moved breakfast 10 minutes later and my collie sat by the bowl just staring at it. Then he herded me toward the kitchen. Sir, please relax." Build flexibility like you train everything else. Mix up routes, shuffle the order of cues, sprinkle in short settle breaks, and reward calm when plans change. Teach them that change is normal, and the dog stops trying to run your day like a calendar app. Number 7. Making lasers and shadows a game. A red dot seems harmless, right up until your Border Collie starts patrolling the living room like it's hunting invisible mice in another dimension. This is one of those mistakes owners don't realize they're making because it looks like great exercise. But for a dog wired to lock onto motion, laser pointers, reflections, and shadow games can train the brain to scan walls, floors, corners, waiting for the next flicker to chase. And once that habit forms, it's not cute anymore. It's a loop. Chase, fail, escalate, repeat. In fact, one owner described it like, "I played the laser game twice. Now he works the hallway every night, staring at the floor, expecting a magical red dot to appear." If you've started this, don't panic. Just stop feeding the obsession. Swap in games with a real endpoint. And if you're already seeing frantic scanning, bring in a trainer early because the longer it rehearses, the stickier it gets. Number 8. Letting them parent your other pets. You'll notice it in the quiet moments. Your Border Collie parked across the room, eyes locked, silently directing traffic like the household's hall monitor. A lot of owners miss this because it doesn't look like aggression. It can look polite until it isn't. Border Collies will stare, shadow, cut off paths, hover at doorways, and police movement from cats or smaller dogs. Sometimes it escalates into stalking, chasing, or a sharp correction the second the other pet breaks the rules your dog invented. One owner described it perfectly, saying, "My dog doesn't play with the cat. It's more like he supervises her. If she runs, he teleports. If she jumps, he's already there like, 'Ma'am, this area is closed.'" Don't let "it's hurting" become a free pass. Interrupt the stare early, reward disengagement, and give them an alternate job. Protect the other pet's space too, so they can move around without being monitored. Otherwise, your collie will keep running the household, and your other animals will live under probation. Number 9. Skipping the health homework can get expensive fast. Even the cutest Border Collie puppy in the world can still come with a genetics pop quiz you didn't study for. A lot of owners get laser focused on temperament videos and fluffy photos, then forget the unsexy part, breed-specific health questions. Border Collies can have inherited issues that are testable or screenable. Think eye conditions like CEA, DNA conditions that show up in some lines like TNS, plus orthopedic screening for hips and elbows, and even family history or epilepsy. If you don't ask, you're basically agreeing to be surprised later. In fact, one owner joked, "Learn from my mistakes. I asked my breeder about coat and drive like I was buying a sports car. Now I'm learning acronyms like CEA and TNS the expensive way." Your move is to ask for proof of health testing. Ask what's common in their lines and keep the results saved. Sure, you can train a lot, but you can't out-train genetics. Hey, if you enjoyed this, you'll love this video here. And if you hit subscribe, I'll donate a meal to a rescue dog on your behalf.